Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We have here about 6 topics. The first one is a little video with a very cheap Russian drone destroying the most competent German tank, Leopard 2. I'm gonna play that video as the drone approaches the victim. That's the first one. The second one, a Russian top MP thinks and says what he thinks, that the European Union is calling for nuclear war. So that means we have a victim here and we have an aggressor, right? Perpetrator. Now Russia warns the West and Ukraine again if they move on or against Belarus. And they warn them with disastrous consequences. Well, these guys say that the Russians are just bluffing, so go ahead, do it. And when the guys are gonna nuke us, you and I will be getting our hot dogs and put it in the flames, but the other guys are going to be in their bunkers. The ones that say, don't worry about the Russians. Next one. You know, Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, was invited to attend the inauguration of the Mexican president-elect. She's Jewish, just to mention that. I think she would be proud of me mentioning that. She won the elections, so Zelensky is over there. She is in Mexico, so we're good over here. So is Mexico going to invade anybody? So he was... Vladimir Putin was invited, but Mexico is ICC, International Criminal Court signatory country. So Putin, it seems like, is not going to attend. Why? Well, doesn't trust the Mexicans, I guess. He doesn't want to come probably too close to Washington, D.C., if you know what I mean. Next topic. These guys are telling us from the European Union that there will be no forced deportations of Ukrainian male population as refugees. But I will tell you how that will happen. And I will give you an analogy, or just an example, analogy is better, with how these guys will not take our guns away. No. They will make it in such a way that we could not buy them, own them, or use them. Right? They will not infringe our right to bear arms. No. They will make it impossible for us to buy them economically. The same with those guys in the Ukrainians in Europe, refugees. They will not round them up and send them in, I don't know. No. They will make it in such a way that they will be incapable of living there. Next article here and topic. Armenia will be activated. I said this many times before, but Armenia, you know, the country in the Caucasus, needs to be activated by the West, so creates problem for the Russians over there. They always try that. I talk about these guys from here. The problem is Georgia, the country of Georgia, of Saakashvili, the former president, or Djugashvili if you want, which is Stalin. That's his name, was his name. So without Georgia, Armenia cannot do shit. Why? It's surrounded by people that some of them don't like them, some of them are friends with Russia, and so on. So let's start with the first article, with the drone attack, right? Russia Today. Russian forces destroy newest German-made tank. Video footage shows a Ukrainian Leopard 2 being reduced to smoldering wreck in Kursk region. And indeed, this is the tank right here, and the drone is going to come over and it's going to play house with the tank. Show this, tell you what's happening, because right now we have YouTube, the drone is coming over here and it's gonna hit it there. All right, the same thing in this video. And that's it. So, the Russian military has destroyed a German-made Leopard 2 tank in Kursk region as Ukraine's ill-fated attempt to hold on the Russian territory drags on. Video footage shows the tank suffering multiple hits from kamikaze drones. Indeed, right here it's already smoking when the other one comes and hits it. In a statement released on Wednesday, the Russian Defense Ministry said that more than 500 casualties, the 2 Leopard tanks, 4 Swedish-made CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles, and dozens of armored vehicles and pieces of military equipment were destroyed in the same period, the ministry stated. Clear? Clear. In the past 24 hours, 2 Leopard tanks were destroyed. And it says that Telegram channel members, North Group Force using multiple first-person view UAVs to hit a Leopard 2 tank, Northern Wind, which posts a constant stream described the tank as Leopard 2A5, which would make it one of the most modern tanks in Ukraine's arsenal. And they're captured right here, and that was the video. Now let's go to the next article, which, according to this Russian top MP, European Union is calling for nuclear war. Obviously, they're not calling for, hey, let's have a nuclear war. No, but your actions will have consequences, and the named consequences, according to the Russians, are we're going to use nuclear weapons in self-defense if you guys push on using long-range missiles hitting deep inside Russia. That's a red line, and the consequences are written, painted on the wall. Let's go and see what these guys are saying. Vyacheslav Volodin has slammed Strasbourg's call to lift restrictions on Ukraine's use of Western weapons. The European Parliament is calling for nuclear war and should disband, the chairman of the Russian State Duma, Vyacheslav Volodin, has said. The legislature adopted a resolution on Thursday, this is the European Union, calling on the EU to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia with Western-supplied weapons, as well as to continue funding Kyiv's war effort by confiscating Russian frozen sovereign assets. The resolution was adopted with 425 votes in favor, 131 against, and 63 abstentions. And I'm quoting, what the European Parliament is calling for would lead to a world war using nuclear weapons. Clear? Oh, they won't do it. All right, you take a chance. And I'm quoting again, for your information, the flight time of a Sarmat missile to Strasbourg is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. The approved resolution claimed that, and I'm quoting, without lifting current restrictions, Ukraine cannot fully exercise its right to self-defense, and quote, insufficient deliveries of ammunition and restriction on their use risks offsetting the impact of efforts made to date. Now, Russian president said last week, if the West lifts the restrictions, and I'm quoting again, it will mean nothing less than the direct participation of NATO countries, the US and European countries in the conflict in Ukraine. And I'm quoting again Putin, Russia will make the appropriate decisions if that happens. Russia's envoy to the United Nations, Vasily Nebenzia, repeated the message in the United Nations Security Council a day later, noting that, and I'm quoting, NATO would become directly involved in military actions against a nuclear power. I don't think I have to explain what the consequences that would have. What consequences that would have. Got that? You do it, we're gonna nuke you. Clear? Don't worry. No, he's gonna stay down. Next one. Russia warns West and Ukraine of disastrous consequences. Is this what the consequences, the same as in this article? If Kyiv moves against Belarus. So if Kyiv moves against these guys are gonna screw them with nuclear weapons, I'm guessing. I think the Russians are running out of patience. And what if it's a false flag operation over there? What are the Russians gonna do? Well, I don't think they're that desperate to make one happen. Well, maybe someone, the third actor, will do it. Russia warned the West and Ukraine on Friday of disastrous consequences, end quote, if Kyiv moved against close Russian ally Belarus, making clear it would intervene to defend a country where it has deployed tactical nuclear weapons. And we have Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova told reporters that Moscow was concerned by what she called increasingly, quote-unquote, provocative activity on the border with Belarus, saying she did not rule out that there could be attempts to escalate in the region. All right, so we see these facts ourselves and are aware of constant attempts from the Ukrainian side to use drones and to send terrorists into the republic. So, patience has its limits, and it seems like the Russians reached them, and we'll see how they will act. I think that the Russians, if they're losing, let's put it this way, which I don't know how that could happen, or if the Russian boat rocks a little bit too much, they will use that, even though they will obviously say that this is a reaction, this is self-defense, this is whatever they're going to say. The other guys obviously will say, hey, you're a war criminal, like the guys in the Second World War, remember, the 6th and the 9th of August 1945. It's okay, but right, we're going to match what those guys did. Unfortunately, the Ukrainians will be at the receiving end, and I dislike that very much. I don't want anybody to be at the receiving end with those kind of weapons or with any weapon, but that would be unrealistic because of, look at the wars in the past. Each and every war has its crimes, and I don't think this is different than any others. It couldn't, you know why? Because the actors are the same, which is man, let's put it this way, people. Let's be inclusive. All right. Ukrainska Pravda. Putin decides not to attend the inauguration of President of Mexico, ICC member state, according to Ukrainska Pravda. So, President, right here, Claudia Sheinbaumstein. Okay, that's what she is. So, right here, quote from Shine and King Chong Chong. We received such an invitation to the inauguration of the President of Mexico, and we are grateful to the Mexican side for it. This is Alexander Chong, head of the Latin American Department of the Russian Foreign Ministry, in an interview with RTVI, or 6, I don't know what it is. He said Putin appointed an envoy who will represent Russia at the events. Mexico signed the Rome Statute in 2005, making it subject to the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court, which issued an arrest warrant to Putin. So, as the guys from Mongolia, they said, Q, what are you going to do? Sanctions. We are anyway under sanctions whenever we do something Al Capone doesn't like, so screw you. Now let's see how the deportations will occur here. Ukrainska Pravda. No forced deportations. End quote. EU confirms it won't send men back to Ukraine. Yes, but these guys lied many times and they changed their mind many times. Which could be considered also a lie. I lied to you when I said I would be faithful. I changed my mind. All right. So the same these guys. Remember, they said they will not send this kind of military equipment to Ukraine, and they did. Kind of like many times. No tanks there. No airplanes there. No howitzers, no this, no that. They're there. So they're liars. But hey, they can be because they're in charge of us. So now they say no forced deportation. I don't believe there will be no forced deportation. I think there will be a certain kind of deportation. And let me tell you how things are done using the guns. If you make the economic, let's say you put, you make it hard to buy guns. Let's say the process to buy a gun with all the taxes and everything you do, let's say a handgun will be, I don't know, $100,000. We allow you to buy it. The stores will have the guns. You can go and buy it. but you need $100,000. What are you going to do? Not too many people will have them. Okay, or you can allow them to have this and that, but then you make the ammunition. Okay, one bullet, or if you want the powder, you make it so expensive, I know, $3 trillion. Whatever it was, you make a bullet. Nobody will buy it. Or the quantity of that and the possession of that. So you don't infringe the right to bear arms, but you just do it in playing outside. Puck, 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 with nothing. You don't have anything. If you have the possession of anything that would make this guy use, you're gonna have big problems. So same with these guys in the Ukrainians. If the European Union somehow, some countries, decide that they stop the benefits and they will not allow them to get a job, how are you going to survive? So you have no way to get employment and to support your family. What are you going to do? Go into criminal activity? They will catch you and then they will deport you. That would be in a normal country. But since these guys are not normal, no, where there is a will, there's a way. So that's one way. You just stop the economic and they will be starving. They will go home or something. So we'll self-deport. That's what's going to be. Or I don't know. What are you going to do? Protest? Well, that's why you have the police and the batons and the rubber bullets and the shields and all that. What do you think you have that for? Oh, you disrupt the... unless that is beneficial to a certain kind of interest out there. And there is interest, obviously. So, this is garbage what this PO, whatever, S tries to tell us. The European Commission has stated that male Ukrainian citizens of conscription age will not be forcibly expelled from the territory of the European Union. Got that? All right, we got it. And let's see how this, I think he's on the payroll of the West. He's the, if I remember correctly, Prime Minister of Armenia. His name is Nikol Pashinyan. So he, I think, is on the London's payroll, not on the Washington's. And he did everything that he could to withdraw from the so-called NATO, Russia's NATO pact, whatever. They are creating problems for their citizens. But remember, not always, it's beneficial to be friendly with your neighbors, immediate neighbors first, and then with the other ones from 6,000 miles away or more, okay? So you have to have a good relationship with your neighbors. Well, it seems like Armenia is playing the other way around, like guys who took over Ukraine, the same way. They think that those guys over there, like the imbeciles from Romania, the same way. I'm talking about the leaders and so on, right? So they think that those guys over there will defend them against the neighbor right here, because the neighbor has imperialistic tendencies. But the guy that the Romanians are friends with have about, 740 bases or military deployments all around this planet, but they are not imperialistic. The Russians are. All right, my friends, I rest my case with that one. So let's see what these guys are saying. One of Russia's longtime allies says Putin's NATO rival is now a threat to his country. So help, NATO help. That's what's going to do. Armenia's prime minister said Putin's NATO-style alliance, the CSTO, creates threats for his country. Correct. If you allow their CSTO's enemies in their ribs, yeah, they will create problems for you. They will invade you and fuck you up. I guarantee you that. It's the latest salvo in a series of snubs from Armenia towards the bloc. It doesn't have to be a snub. You have to be decent about it. I don't want to cooperate with you guys. Okay. Well, remember, Armenia received, if I remember correctly, French military assistance. They wanted to do all kind of games with the Americans and advisors, like Georgia did in 2008, when Saakashvili got hanged by his balls by Putin. Remember that one? Or no, not by Putin, by Medvedev. Yeah, Medvedev was the president and Putin was the prime minister. But hey, we know who ruled that. The West told us that actually Putin is in charge. So, nevertheless, let's go move on. Armenia recently froze its membership in the CSTO, which was seen as a blow to Putin himself. Yes, he is crying over his toilet. A former close ally of Russia said the President Vladimir Putin NATO-style alliance, far from offering security guarantees, now creates threats for his country. So hell, help me right there, give me the NATO. All right, so CSTO also includes Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. I'm going to show you the map where this is all located. So he went on to say that CSTO in fact creates threats for Armenia's security, Armenia's future existence, sovereignty, and statehood. Okay, let's see where this is occurring. So here is the map of the Caucasus. This is between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. This is where Dagestan, where Khabib and Islam Makhachev are living right here. All right, Chechnya, this is where, what's his name, Mr. Kadyrov resides. And this is Georgia, where Saakashvili used to be as the president. And this is where Stalin is from. And this is Armenia. Now, Armenia, let me show you a different map here so you see how close to the war this garbage is, the situation I'm talking. This is the Sea of Azov, this is the Black Sea. So if you go this direction in southeast right there, you're gonna reach, I'll get myself out, right here, this little border here that you see, that is this little thing right here. All right, so this is where that is. So, where am I? Here, I found myself. So Russia is here, Armenia is here. Now we have Turkey here, and let me get myself again out, god damn. And then you have in the south, Iran. So you have Iran, you have Turkey, you have Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Dagestan. So no friends, no friends, no friends at this moment, no friends. So without Georgia, where it can be helped by NATO to the Black Sea if the Russians allow them, they don't blockade here, Armenia is a dead end diversion to Russia's ribs. The guy, I think he's not working for his people. I like courageous people. I like it, but I don't like dumb people. I understand them, but I try to avoid them. Why? Dumb people get you in trouble more than the courageous people. So back the fuck off. Here it is. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.